What's up, everybody? It's your boy Corey, aka GQ Saint, here with another reaction video. This one's going to be another variant comment video. Since you already did it one, the top DC and Marvel fighters, this one will be different. This title, Who Are the Celestials? For those of you who are Marvel fans, you should have heard of the Celestials. They're like the space gods of the Marvel Universe. Anyway, I know they're supposed to be introducing more of those, get more into it within the Phase 4 Marvel sequence they got going on, introducing more characters, more sequels. And we got you got a little taste of Celestial and Guardians and Galaxy 2. Which is Ego. I looked up Ego. It turns out Ego, I think he's actually a living planet, not true Celestial. They just kind of, twitched it up, to keep viewers staying because in the combos, I don't think he's actually a Celestial. He's more like a living planet. And we don't want to continue board guys still based on me talking. Just want to go give you my point of perspective when for what I seen. Let's go and dive into the video. Let's get it.
What's up, my comic comrades? For those of you who follow the MCU, which I'm sure is pretty much all of you, because let's face it, Marvel
Yep,
Studios rules the
diehard
box
Marvel fan.
office,
What up,
as they
homie?
take up half of the spots in the top 10
Oh
highest
man,
grossing
New
films
Avengers
of all
will
time,
beat Avatar.
even having the #1 spot with Avengers Endgame. Anyway,
Black
I say
Panther
all of this
list
because
too.
keen eyes know the Celestials have already
Yep.
appeared in the MCU and are set to be a huge part of the Eternals movie, because if you watched our Origin of the Eternals episode, you know they
I
created the
will go
Eternals.
back in
And because of that, a lot of people are
do a
curious about
video
who the
about that. I haven't
Celestials
watched
are
that
exactly.
video yet.
Sure, the average comic book fan knows they're ancient cosmic godlike beings of the Marvel Universe that have a thing for experimenting on weaker life forms. But today I'm going to get more in detail about who they are and what we know about them. With that said, the Celestials first appeared in the Eternals issue 2 in August of 1976. They were created by the king of comics himself, Jack
King
Kirby. Now, like
Kirby.
most gods or beings with powers beyond imagination, we don't know exactly where they came from, although we do have several
True.
origins and theories that suggest how they came to be. Keep in mind, some of them
Anybody know the
contradict each
true
other as they
origin?
don't exactly line up with all Marvel continuity. So as the reader, you kind of just have
Yeah.
to pick and choose what you want to believe, as their origin is essentially legend. But for me personally, I think it's kind of fun not getting all the answers of a character's past origin, especially when you're talking about gods. Anyway, let's
Yeah.
get into it. You have one theory that basically says they might have been survivors from a previous universe. Then you have another that says they were created or in some way connected to eternity. I even found a theory that said they were created by and serve the being called Fulcrum to help him maintain cosmic balance. For those of you who don't know who Fulcrum is, no, he's not a Star Trek character. He is basically the most powerful being in the Marvel Universe, second only to the One Above All. In fact, he's believed to likely be a manifestation or aspect of the One Above All. And as you may have noticed, Fulcrum walks around in the form of a bartender called Jack. A lot of people actually think Jack is Jack Kirby himself, which I jump on that train because that's pretty dope. Anyway,
Yeah,
whether
I like
Fulcrum
that.
created the Celestials or not, the Horde, the Watchers, and the Celestials serve him without question. Do my bidding, you cosmic beast. Moving on, we have probably the best detailing of their origins given to us in the Ultimates 2 issue 6, where it states they were created by the first firmament, which roughly means the heavens or sky. Now you may be asking, what is the first firmament? Well, it's the very first universe to exist in Marvel. Like before there was eternity, there was the first firmament, the beginning of everything. It's basically the sentience of the universe, yet it is the universe. It all gets kind of weird and gray when you're talking about beings
So,
and
that
things
was like
with this
the
power.
complete
With that said, we
one
learn in the
universe.
Ultimates
It's
2
just
issue
one that wants
6,
some
when the
multi.
firmament says, "In the beginning there was only one universe, only I. My universe was perfect, and yet I was only I. I was alone and moved by that loneliness. I made an error. At the very dawn of all that is or was, I made life." Motherfrickers saying that we're an error. We're an accident. We're mistakes. I see you. I see you. Celestial beings firmament created to be its servants, its toys. Soon they made servants of their own. But they still worshiped firmament, which it liked, so it named them aspirants. But there was others, multicolored rebels, that wanted their creations to evolve, to gain the power of the universes and for the universe to evolve with them. To know growth and change in mortality. It was madness and sacrilege. It was war. The war shattered the first firmament into pieces. In terror to preserve its uniqueness, the first firmament fled to the farthest edges of being with the remaining aspirants inside it. But behind it, those new universes coalesced, forming a new collective entity, a second cosmos in the first of a new breed, the first multiverse. From here we learn that the death of the multiverse was only the birth of another, as the multiverse was reborn over and over, evolving even further with each iteration, to the point where eternity itself was created. This also gives us a fictional
That's very
explanation
interesting.
of why things change in comics.
That's actually very interesting. Because eternity is supposed to be forever, such as no beginning nor end. It means last forever. So this is somewhat of Eternity's origin as well too. Yeah, for those of you who know what Eternity is, definitely want to consider one of the most powerful beings in Marvel. One of them, not the top. And let's go on that back onto the video.
Comics with continuity and characters. While in the real world, we just know the publisher or creators wanted to go in different directions. And this essentially happened because the Celestials were like, yeah, we want to do our own thing. But moving on, we also get another variation of their origin in Astonishing X-Men issue 61, where the character Sage tells us the Celestials were there at the birth of the universe, but they were lonely, so they shaped creation. They made life from the darkness. But believing with life there must be death, they created monsters to be that destruction. Said monsters eventually turned on them to the point where the Celestials couldn't defeat them. So they imprisoned them by splitting the universe into the multiverse, with nothing but their will trapping the monsters inside. Just like that, those are several possibilities of how the Celestials came to be. Now, some of you may be wondering, where does the One Above All fit into all of this? Since the last two origins I mentioned stated that the first firmament and the Celestials were at the beginning of the universe. Unfortunately, there's no real answers to that, but one could come to the conclusion that since the One Above All is, well, the one above all and the end-all be-all in all of Marvel Comics, he is the one who created the first firmament, aka the first universe, and the Celestials, so they only exist at the beginning because he made it so. It all gets kind of weird and confusing when you go down this rabbit hole of omnipotent beings, especially since there's continuity issues with this stuff. But hey, we work with what we got. But no matter what their origin is, one thing is for sure, the Celestials are a race of godlike engineers that take it upon themselves to experiment on lower life forms. Because of this, they are responsible for mankind's potential to have superhuman powers. They're also responsible for the mutant gene due to them experimenting on Earth millions of years ago. That's right, they're responsible for the mutants as well as the Eternals, the Deviants, humans, Skrulls, and so on. At this point, some of you may be wondering, well, how powerful are they since they do all of this stuff? Well, I mean, they're gods basically, so they literally have power beyond imagination, capable of manipulating energy and matter on an immeasurable scale. Also, they're like thousands of feet tall and they wear cool armor, so there's that. Now, this was just a brief rundown of who the Celestials are and where they came from, but there's a lot more to talk about when it comes to them, so if you want me to do a history of episode on them around the release of the Eternals movie, let us know and we'll get on that when the time comes. But other than that, if you like this video, be sure to check out this video right here, and while you're at it, be sure to subscribe by
Pretty interesting video. Basically, it gets a little confusing between the continuity, see which origin is the true origin. Anyway, we see a whole bunch of stuff gets rewritten. One example, Apocalypse from X-Men, he's said to be the first ever mutant, but that's now being disputed because newer mutants starting to have origins, such as even older than he is. But it depends on how they change that, how the writer, rewriters make up this stuff. Anyway, pretty interesting video. I'm actually looking forward to see more coming out because they are making an Eternals movie that's going to come out I think, either 2020 or 2021. We'll see because that's how Marvel Phase 4 began. Anyway, I'm excited. Anyway, make sure you drop boy like, I don't want to again tongue tie. Sorry. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a nice day. Peace.